So we get towards the final throws of day one of racing here at the season opener of the VNL Karting Series kickoff. Junior Rotax out on circuit for their first final of the weekend. And here is your starting order. On pole position, now the grid is made dependent on the results of the pre-finals. So Thomas Stolsamanis, who won last time out, starts on pole position. Alongside him will be Kai Gilats. Matthijs Turlo and Tom Braken round out row 2. Farin Mega will start P5 ahead of Bruno Mulders. Edgars Wilkans and Tommy van der Stroys, that is row number 4, with Vic Stevens from Belgium and Max Karpen from the Netherlands rounding out the top 10. Jori Schoens, Luc Niesen, Casper Schomans, Janis Diak, Julian Klosman, Joid Briefeld, Enzo Bol, Ethan Jeff Hall, Javi Bachmachtiuk and Montego Massen round out the top 20. Nick Gerhard starts 21st ahead of Richard Thomas. Olivier Jonkers, you got Enzo van den Dickenberg, René de Bruyke. You also got Baptiste Levezak. And you've got Brogio van de Pijvert, Dams and Lee rounding out the top 30. Boluet, Devian Rost and Puck Gubbles round out the top 33. But post-race, last time out, Thomas Strauven and Theo Blanc were considered to have been crowding other drivers in terms of it, so have been promptly disqualified from the pre-final. So they've got all the work to do. And in that first pre-final, there were 10 front-fairing penalties. So that jumbled up the order. The 2:43 of Antoine Borgio got given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. And at the moment, in the lead of the front-fairing penalties race so far this weekend, it is definitely Senior Rotax. I think it was 8 in the previous race. So it has been a very long winter, as I said earlier on. However, the junior final will be getting underway. So it's Stolsamanis from Riele, Sterlo, Braken, Mega, Mulders, Wilkans, Van der Stroys, Stevens and Knappen. Out of turn 12 they come. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Full start. First one of the meeting. So full course yellow out again at the circuit. And there were a couple of stragglers at the back part of the field, so they've got to go around for another 1,360 metres. So drivers will have to be not just on their best behaviour, but they've got to bring their A game. As I said, it's been a long winter. There are some that are feeling it a little bit more than others. There have been drivers that have been able to get back training. Some countries that have had to wait, such as Great Britain, who finally were able to open kart tracks and grassroots motorsport this past week, actually, this past Monday, to go back to now competition. But let's see if we can get things going second time around, can we, drivers? Through into the tram lines once again. Are we ready? Are we steady? This looks like a better start. We are off and away. Stolsamanis gets ahead of Riele as Turlu trying to keep ahead of Braken, but Braken trying to get past for third position. Bruno Mulders and Fahin Mega nearly come to dramas going through turn 3 as someone kicks up the dust between turns 3 and 4. And in many respects, a lot of drivers now cannot. I mean, it's 3 abreast going into turn 7 off of the Europalan. This is where some drivers now will have the opportunity to keep ahead of others. So Stolsamanis is leading after the completion of the first lap. The drivers, hopefully all 35, will have made it through. So Tommy van der Stroys Oh, quite a few drivers have dropped. Vic Stevens ends up, well, yeah, who else have we got dropping down the order? Quite a few. Devian Host and Olivier Yonkers as there's more RG Bargy. That's for P5. Tommy van der Stroy's getting his elbows out. Foreign Mega's coming into the clutches of other drivers. So the likes of Luke Neeson's, Casper Schauman's, Schauman's is already up to P11. And the youngster, just 11 years of age, is climbing up the order. But at the meantime, Stolzemanis and Gielert have got a little bit of a breakaway ahead of Tom Braken, who's about 0.8 of a second behind. A little bit clumsy there from Foreign Mega going over the curves through turn 10. As Mega coming under fire, that's Edgar's Vilkans. I think this just got up the inside of him. And there is Casper Schaumann. So Foreign Mega, as there goes Kai Gielert up the inside to take the lead on lap 3 going through turn 2. So Foreign Mega looks to be dropping outside of the top 10. The German falling rather rapidly. Won the Minimax Grand Finals title in 2018 for Team Germany. And oh! Dramas there, Casper Schaumann, that has caused carnage behind. And that includes the 242 there. Matthijs Turlo and Casper Schaumann came together. Schaumann went up into the air, was pitched literally widthways across, and that was the length of the kart itself. And several karts had nowhere, absolutely nowhere to go. So Casper Schaumann, I think that could be a possibility of a retirement for him, and maybe looks like Matthijs Turlo knows that his race is done and dusted. Kai Gielert still leading from Thomas Stolzemanis, having taken the lead on the previous lap. But again, we are seeing a very much repeated affair between these two titans at the front of the field. Stolzemanis has come in and literally put everyone on notice. And Gielert is sort of the one that's trying to defend home pride and also home turf here at Karting Genk. Tom Braken, Tommy is in third. Tommy van der Stroys is battling away tooth and nail with the 277 of Bruno Mulders. So Mulders getting rather up close and personal. Edgar's Vilkans is in a JJ Racing sandwich, and there's more dramas back, and that is the 220. That's Richard Thomas. That has just had a drama, and that's coming through turn 8. I think I saw the 269 of Vic Stevens from Dams Racing. There are more ups and downs than a yo-yo on a string at the moment, and there are drivers really not having the best of luck coming into there at the moment. So the drivers continuing to battle on, and here we have, that is Edgar's Vilkans, and he's got Farin Mega. That looks to be Joip Briefeld that's got behind. As you can see, Matthijs Turlo's kart stricken to the left-hand side of the Europolan after that heavy impact between him and Casper Schaumann. So 8.5 minutes to go. There is still plenty to wait for, as now up the inside, Farin Mega and Joip Briefeld both get past Edgar's Vilkans. That's going through into turn 10. So Mega opened the door, and Briefeld just decided to join in on the fun and get through. Ethan Jeffel showing another good bit of credence here, as there goes Stolzemanis up into the lead past Kai Gielert through into turn 2 on lap number 6. 8 minutes to go plus an additional lap. Oh, sideways from Gielert going through turn 5, all the way through it. Caught it and held it. So good job by Kai Gielert, but that could lose him a little bit of time to Stolzemanis. Well, it hasn't really, because the Belgians kept with the Latvian rather quickly as they go through into turn number 8, now into 9. So at the moment, Gielert is in second behind Stolzemanis. Tom Braken is about 1.1 seconds away from this battle. Van der Stroys from the Netherlands trying to close in, or no, there is a change there, because Bruno Mulders has got past the number 254 of Tommy van der Stroys. Then it is Farin Mega, Max Knappen, Edgar's Vilkans, as well as Joip Briefeld, Luke Neeson, Ethan Jeffel, Theo Blanc up into 12th position. Thomas Strauven is behind Montego Marson in the number 282. So Theo Blanc and Thomas Strauven have made their way, they scythed their way through this field. They have taken no prisoners whatsoever. So a few other drivers making their way up the order. Obviously, some drivers such as Casper Schurman's up to 19th now after that massive moment for him. So he's been able to carry on, and he's ahead of Rune de Bruyke. Thies Dams rounds out the top 21 ahead of Jori Schoens, Ralf van der Peyert, Julian Kloosman, and Enzo Bol rounding out the top 25, who's got Austin Lee about 2.3 seconds behind him, as Gielets again looking up the inside of Stoll Samanis. No gap appearing. As there is Tom Braken, and here comes Bruno Mulders. Mulders very close to him. Well, that's hang on a second. Yeah, so you've got the leaders there. There is Mulders going up the inside of Tom Braken. A little bit further back, you've got... So now we have a great battle here, because this means that Tommy van der Stroys is factoring in for what could be a possible provisional P3 at this particular moment in time. So what you will have is that it's going to be rather dicey between Braken, who's in the middle of Mulders, and van der Stroys. So he's the Belgian meat in a Dutch sandwich at the moment. And the top two covered. There goes Gielets up the inside to retake the lead on lap number 9 through turn 2 on Stoll Samanis. So again, this chess strategy call by these two is, again, you can just see how hard Gielets is pushing. That car is literally the back end stepping out to the right hand side every time he goes through turn 5. And that says to me that a very, very different driving style between Stoll Samanis and Kai Gielets. With Gielets leading now on what will be very shortly the completion of lap 9. But Tom Braken keeping close, but not too close, because one of the things he doesn't want to have happen is to have a front fairing penalty post-race. None of these drivers do. But sometimes it does happen as a part of karting, as the leaders now have 4.5 minutes, plus an additional lap to negotiate. Bruno Mulders still in third, Tom Braken, Tommy van der Stroys, Farin Mega, Max Knappen, Edgars Wilkans, Joop Briefeld, and Theo Blanc rounding out the top 10. Ethan Jeff Hall has been passed by Luke Neeson in the meantime, as again Gielets very, very defensive ahead of Stoll Samanis, and is able to pull away going down the Europalan. But in the twisty stuff, the RM Latvia driver in the 2.13 just behind the Belgian from JJ Racing seems to have that extra little switch just to get past, and you can see now, to give the maximum amount of cooling for these engines, they've raised the flaps on the radiators on the right hand side just to get the maximum amount of airflow. But sometimes a little bit of debris can come through those radiators, and you can just see that they are pushing like crazy. Tom Braken is, well, the sort of like the curtain on his radiator isn't as far open as what you've got with Gielets and Stoll Samanis. And you can just see now how much Kai Gielets is trying to keep away from Stoll Samanis. But Stoll Samanis again is just showing his calibre. And if he is in the Euro Trophy next week, I am not going to be at all surprised, because the defending champion will have the biggest fight on his hands for a title defence for 2021. And that's saying something, considering when those people that might remember a certain driver by the name of Mike Van Vugt, who works behind the scenes at JJ Racing nowadays, and with JVD Power as well. And, you know, from my perspective here, it's a case of, well, let's see what happens, shall we? 2.5 minutes still to go in this final. And at the moment, Stoll Samanis is trying to do the clean sweep on day 1. So whether Gielets has something to say about it as well, and it is going to be one of those things where these drivers now have to send it as best they can for the next 2 minutes, because it's all dependent on how you're now. Oh, now that's very interesting. I've just seen that is firing Mega's front bumper, and that was flexing a little bit going down from turn 9 into 10. So I'm just wondering if it's a little bit loose on the underside. I'm not too sure. I'll just keep an eye on that, because you can see, yeah, that's actually wobbling a lot more than anyone else's front bumper. As now Stolsamanis. Oh, now he was very robust. He didn't. Now, one of the things is that a driver might say, "Oh yeah, well you forced me off track." Goes, "Oh, did anyone catch that from Kai Rielitz? He went sideways through turn 5 again. I mean, like literally, he lights up the rear tyres. As a little bit further back, it looks like Theo Bland just got in the middle of Max Knappen and Joip Riedveld, and that is for 8th position. He was literally just scythed it up the inside of the Dutch driver. But we have just 60 seconds on the clock plus an additional lap. Thomas Stolsamanis will have to hold on for this and an additional lap, because we are about to complete lap number 13 of this final. The first one of 3 out of today. So on to the penultimate lap we go. Lap 14, as Rielitz really keeping Stolsamanis guessing. Oh, Stolsamanis bumps over the runoff area. Rielitz trying to look towards the inside going through turn 3. Now, did Rielitz get through? He didn't. That was through turn 3 and into 4. Kai Rielitz now has this and another lap and a half. Still, well, he has a lap and a half to go to see if he can put one past Thomas Stolsamanis. So if Rielitz is within a couple of tenths off of Stolsamanis when they go across the line for the final time, I think he's got an opportunity, and he's trying to build that momentum going through into the right-hander at turn 10. Timer has expired. We go on to the 15th and final lap of this race and the final lap of competition for the juniors today. Rielitz is now 0.160 behind. Oh, and he nearly went for the move there. He's trying to make Stolsamanis guess where he's going to place the kart. Into turn 4, tighter line taken by Rielitz. Through into 5, kept it under control there. Gets a little bit wider going into turn 6, but now he's got the run down the Europalan. And there goes Stolsamanis. Rielitz goes towards the left-hand side, tries to cut through going into turn 7. Stolsamanis, oh, Rielitz trying to get towards the inside. Oh, they touch. Oh, there's the slightest of touches, and Stolsamanis has to wait. Oh my goodness me, Rielitz was like a rat up a drainpipe as soon as he saw Stolsamanis going wide. So through the last turn, Kai Rielitz gets on the winning ways again. And now that is provisionally speaking, I must add, because I'm wondering if there's going to be a look. Oh, now there's been a problem. That's Tom Bracken. Oh, he's broken down even coming out of the final corner. Tom Bracken will not even make it through the top 3. And he's trying to push the cart along. But Tom Bracken just kicks the side pod in frustration. The cart broke down on the final corner of the final lap. Disaster for Tom Bracken. He's got a lot more work to do tomorrow, let me tell you that right now. But Kai Rielitz originally takes the win from Bruno Mulders and Farin Mega. That makes it a JJ Racing 1, 2, 3. Tommy van der Stroy's in 4th. Joip Riedveld in 5th. Theo Blanc is 6th. Edgars Wilkans in 7th. Max Knappen, Ethan Jeff Hall and Luke Neeson round out the top 10. Thomas Strauven in 11th, ahead of Nick Gerhards, Monty Gormassen, Janis Diak, Javi Bach-Martiuk, Antoine Broggio. Casper Schomans recovered to 17th after that incident between himself and Matti Sturlo, with the latter retiring on lap number 3. Enzo Ball, Jori Schoens and Thies Dames rounds out the top 20 ahead of Thomas Stolsamanis. Austin Lee takes 22nd ahead of Devian Rust, Rune de Bruyker, Vic Stevens, Oliver Jonkers, Baptiste Levesac, Boloet, Julian Klosman, Richard Thomas, Enzo van den Dickenberg. Bart Gubbles was the last of the 32 classified finishers, with Tom Bracken breaking down on the final corner of the final lap. Ralph van der Pavert eliminated on lap 12, with Matthijs Turlo retiring on lap number 3.